Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Mike.
I wanted to ask you about Cam's play on Monday night, and it just, from the untrained eye, if you will, it looked like it's as comfortable as he had been maybe all season long. I'm just curious your view of that, and if you feel like he's starting to stack them together and get more and more comfortable in the system.
Yeah, he works really hard, and I think each week he's made some progress. Again, I've said it before. I'm pretty amazed by how humble he is and the amount of coaching he takes, and he is so receptive to anything that you want to work on. He has things he wants to work on as well, and I just think each week at practice, each day, he makes some progress. He feels more comfortable with doing the things that he's doing in the operation. I mean, he checked out of some plays the other day. He got us into some good plays. He's taking care of the football better as the season has progressed. We're continuing to try to work on those little things each week. And he has made progress, and we hope to continue to do that this week.
And on the flip side of that, does his mechanics occasionally drive you bananas? and those are my words, not yours. But just sometimes it doesn't look like it should look.
I think quarterback mechanics are all habits that are formed over time, and so good or bad. There's some good things and there's some bad things, and I think every quarterback that I've ever been with has things they want to work on and improve. And again, this is our first opportunity really with Cam during the course of a season to work on things, and he has made some progress in certain areas. But as I've said before, throwing the football and playing quarterback in our league is like playing golf at a really high level. If there's one little thing off here or there, it could affect your accuracy, could affect your consistency, and certainly could affect your performance in a positive or negative fashion, depending on what it is. So, just I think that's an everyday process, and he's willing to fight the fight, which I love. And we're continuing to work on little things as we go. And like I said, the goal, the name of the game right now is to try to stay in this improvement phase and just continue to make steady progress as we go through the middle of the season.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question, Eric Scalavino, followed by Chris Ryan.
Good morning, Josh. Thanks for taking the time. How you doing?
Yeah, no problem. Good. How are you doing?
Great. I have sort of a general question for you. It's halfway through the season now, and you've played most of your games without fans in the stadium. And the people at Gillette recently announced they're not going to have any for the rest of this season. So how has the lack of a crowd impacted your game day experience personally? And how is that, a lot of times we see in games, teams build momentum based on the crowd and the crowd's reaction. And how have you noticed that may have played a role in how your team responds sometimes?
Yeah, I think we've gotten used to the environment. I'm not sure that we all nobody would really say that they would prefer this. And whether it's a home or away game, the home games, you feel like you definitely have some advantages there. Our crowd noise when the other team's has the ball, and then the momentum and the adrenaline that you can create. Making positive plays, stringing them together, along with the noise in the stadium. Again, I think at the end of the day, our performance is going to be determined by what we do during the week of practice and how we play on the game day. I don't think the noise would have much to do with that. We've seen that before. We've won road games, we've lost home games, and vice versa. So, there's definitely an experience that you miss. I'd say more than anything, personally, I miss my family being there. All these guys, the players, coaches, and everybody else sacrifices a lot, during the course of the week, time away from our families. And that day is usually a day where you get to share that experience with them. And so, that's a little bit of a, missing piece for sure. But I'd say, like Monday night on the road, or, another road game we played in Kansas City and Seattle, Buffalo, those are historically loud places. And when you play there without the crowd noise, it's definitively a difference. Because you're usually fighting the noise pretty significantly for 4 quarters on a road game. And so that's, obviously that's been a little bit of a different piece that we've gotten accustomed to now this year. And when there's people back in the stadium, obviously we'll look forward to that. Certainly miss our fans and the advantage that they give us at home.
Has it made it a little bit easier, especially on those road games that you mentioned, not having to work with a silent count so much, or that kind of approach?
When you have to work with a silent cadence, there's a whole nother layer of practice that you obviously have to work into that. So that's definitely, something that, you spend a lot of time on during the course of certain weeks to prepare yourselves to be ready to operate that way. So it's something that we haven't had to spend as much time on this season as we have in previous years when we've been going on the road.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
Next question, Chris Ryan, followed by Zach Cox.
Hey, Josh, wanted to ask you about how much you've been able to kind of build out the offense as Cam has gotten more confident and comfortable, and practice time has become more consistent as well. And have you seen the offense, and have you been able to be comfortable evolving the offense with multiple looks, particularly in the running game, more so over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think we look at the things we're doing, the things we haven't done as well, the things we're making progress in, and the things that we've actually excelled in, and then you try to continue doing the things you do well, and maybe add a little bit of a different wrinkle while you're trying to improve the things that you need to improve quickly during the course of the season. So, I think every year we try to evolve. There's not a game that we go into with where we don't have something new, whether that's run game, pass game, protections, third downs, tempo, whatever it is. I mean, there's a lot of aspects that you can work to improve and work to try to attack the defense. So, every year is an evolution of your team during the course of the season. We're in November now, so we know we need to really start playing our best football of the year. And hopefully as we continue to work through this month, we can arrive at that place here in the last half of the year.
Do you look at all at what the Ravens have done with Lamar Jackson as a potential model in some ways for things that you can use with Cam?
You look at a lot of different things. When you have players that have a specific skill set, and I think it's wise to look at any other program or any other organization or even college teams that use things that might be beneficial for your personnel. I certainly have a great deal of respect for a lot of the coaches in our league that have really been groundbreaking in terms of what they've done offensively. I know Coach Roman does a tremendous job in Baltimore. Some of the things that they do, I'm not sure that really fit our personnel as much as it fits theirs. But look, we're Steelers by nature, coaches are. So if there's a good idea that you see on a Saturday afternoon, on your couch, in a college football game, then great. If not, then you look to try to create things based on your personnel. That's part of the fun of coaching. You can look at somebody else's stuff and kind of draw from it. But one of the challenges I think I love the most is to put down a white notepad and with your mind and the personnel that you have at your disposal, just try to sit down and create some things that fit your people. So I think there's a great deal of joy in that for coaches, and I know I certainly enjoy it myself.
Thanks, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
2 final questions, Zach Cox and Mike Giardi.
Hey, Josh, you just mentioned the personnel that you have at your disposal. We typically don't see you guys go into a game with one available tight end, and that's been the case in the last 2 weeks. Has that limited what you guys like to do offensively, those injuries at that position?
I wouldn't say it limits us. It just changes, kind of the planning process. If you don't have it available, then you don't worry about, you don't spend time worrying about the things that you might be able to do from it. So, the weeks that are really the most difficult are the ones where you start the week thinking you got it, and then you find out at the end of the week that you don't, and that happens to everybody. That's a National Football League, and that's why Coach always talks so much about being able to adjust and there's no excuses. We have to find a way to score. We have to find a way to drive the ball and win. And our guys do everything they possibly can do to be healthy and be out there and active on game day. So couldn't ask any more from them than what they're giving us. If you have one tight end, then you sculpt the game plan that way, understanding that if he goes down, you better have a plan B and a plan C and a plan D. It's the same thing. I mean, we've went into different games, over the course of my lifetime, with 3 receivers, and we've gone into the game with 2 backs. We've gone into the game, a couple of years ago, we had to play Cordero at halfback on a Monday Night Football game, and carry the ball 19 times or whatever it was. So, there's different elements of adjusting that you have to go through, and that's our job. Is to be prepared for any scenario that may come up based on the personnel and the health of our team.
And just a quick follow-up. I know you haven't been able to get Jordan Thomas out on the practice field yet, but what do you think he'll be able to bring to that group? Seems like he's got a little bit of a different body type than some of the guys you have.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes once he get here. I know certainly he's got some experience and he's got some ability, but I really love to have an opportunity to see him practice, do some things on the practice field, work into our system. I know he's familiar with some of the terminology, from his time in the league so far. So, interested to see how that goes.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
And last question is Mike Ciardi.
Josh, I just wanted to ask you about Julian Edelman's impact in the film room with some of the guys. Jakobi Meyers, he gave him a lot of credit, saying, he's basically giving me the answers to the test. I'm curious how you view what Julian's been able to do, even though he's not on the field for you.
Yeah, Julian's got a wealth of experience and knowledge, and a great, tremendous understanding of what we ask of our receivers in our system. So, he spent a lot of time, with those guys. He spent a lot of time with them last year, and encouraging them, trying to help them mentally, physically, with their routine as professionals, and with the things that you need to do to be successful in our program. So I think, between Julian and David Andrews and Joe Tooney and Mason and James White and Burkhead, and, we got a lot of guys they're very unselfish players, willing to give of their time, and to share their experiences with our young players. And I think, anytime you have a team full of guys like that, you have a chance to, really rub off on those younger players and help them improve as the season progresses. So, I'm always thankful for those guys. They do a great job of helping us out, and they really share our message with the players in their own way. Julian certainly does a great job of that with Jakobi and Nikhil and the rest of those young guys.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everyone.
You got it. Thanks.